Good morning once again, and thank you for staying tuned to Sunrise Atsi right here on CTV. Hello, how are you? I'm excited to be here, and it's beautiful and sunny outside. It started on a really chilly, cloudy, and a bit of drizzle here and there. On my way to work, it was drizzling, but I'm glad that the sun is out, and today is going to be bright and just absolutely fabulous. That's what I meant to say. My name is Apollo Sarah, and I'm joined by Agi Uwase and Shiva Nauma. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Well, today on Our Views, we're going to be talking about something that actually raises a lot of debate. And that is, like, for most people would probably agree that being honest and authentic in our relationships is the best policy. Whether it is a romantic relationship, a platonic relationship, it could even be with, somebody who you work with, with our acquaintances, whoever the case may be. In fact, they say that a lot of problems in relationships is because people are not willing to have open, authentic conversations and are not just willing to be vulnerable with each other. So a lot of people would say you should strive to get closer to the people around you by just being honest. So today I asked the question. The topic of discussion for Our Views today is honesty always the best policy? Is it? Agi is smiling. Agi is smiling.
I'm torn between should it be, is it the best policy or not? I will first say that it really depends on the situation. Sometimes you don't have to be honest, but let me take it to in regard to relationships, and I'll start with that. If it definitely it comes back to how you start off the relationship. If you started off in a dishonest way, trust me, that will go all the way into dishonesty. But if from the word go, and I always talk about the fact that be honest from the word go, talk about your intentions, and that will actually set precedent for how the relationship will go. If you're honest about your intentions, that means you won't have to lie about so many things. If, let's say, you just want to, I will say it, if you just want someone to be your friends with benefits, if you know what that is, and you make it clear from the word go, this is how I want the relationship to go, definitely, yes, you will not lie about so many things. If, let's say, because if you bring it in the context of you are my girlfriend, but you are lying to them, you understand, you're lying to them, you probably have a wife or you have somebody on the side who is your actual girlfriend. That means, because if I think I'm your girlfriend, then I'm going to call you, how are you doing, where are you doing, what are you doing? I'll call you probably late night calls and all that, because that is what you sold to me. That is what you sold to me. You were dishonest to me from the word go.
Yes.
Which means that you will lie. You'll say, no, today I was probably at my mother's house. Today I was here. You see, a lot of dishonesty crops in between, comes in, and trust me, the relationship will go all the way in dishonesty, and it will not end well. So for me, it just matters how, if it's a relationship, it's how it has started. Are you honest about your intentions? Are you honest about what you want from this person? That will set precedence for everything, because if you tell me this relationship is not that serious, I just want us to be, let's have fun, which means I won't feel entitled.
Two things. Number one, I think we need to understand, why do people lie to begin with? Or why are people not honest?
Because people don't want to take the truth.
And number thing, now when you say people don't want to take the truth, leads me to my second question. Can people handle the truth? Are you ready for
I
the
can
truth?
handle the truth.
Can you?
100%. Trust me.
My God.
I always talk about, by the way, I don't know if you've heard of this saying of hurt me with the truth instead of instead of telling me lies, like you'd rather hurt me with the truth.
Yes.
So for me, it's all about, I'd rather know what it is. Really hurt me with the truth. I'll hurt in the moment, but I'll get over it. But living a lie is a very terrible thing. But I'll talk about scenarios or situations where you can lie. If it's a do or die situation. Okay, I'll give you an example. When there was the Rwandan genocide in 1994, of course, not robbers, but those assailants used to come to your home and they ask you, where is your mother, where is your father? In that moment, remember, you're not even going to survive. They will kill you, and they'll kill your mother as well. So if you have the opportunity to save one person, then there you have to lie. Say, I do not know where they are. I mean, at the end of the day, whether you speak the truth or not, you will be gone. So that if in some situations, it's actually okay to lie. Or if your mother asks you, did you have dinner? Because if you say no, you know that it will bother them. So you can lie to them to make them feel better. I mean, that's a small lie.
So small white lies are acceptable. Shiva, what do you have to say?
There is nothing as such as a big lie or a small lie. A lie is a lie. Please do not be misled. But to answer the question and to look at the statement, is honesty always the best policy? Honesty is always the best policy. That is the ideal. The question is that the reality? I think it goes back to what Agi said. You have to look at the situation in which you are required to be honest, or look at the situation in which you're required to respond to. There are situations where being honest will actually be the beginning of your downfall. There are situations where when you be honest, you'll actually get what you want. For example, if a job advert has been put out and they're interviewing you and they maybe do not want someone who has a family, and they ask you, do you have a family? And you say yes. The HR might say, okay, unfortunately, we're not looking for a mom, we're looking for a single person. But if you say no, you could get yourself a job and actually prove a point that being a mother does not mean that you cannot get a job done.
But in that situation, how do you determine if
what I'm trying to say is that, yes, honesty is the best policy. That is the ideal. It's not the reality. You look at the situations in which you are needed to be honest and situations where you cannot be honest. Like, also, to highlight on what Sarah said, and it was actually something I was going to mention, we keep saying, oh, we want the truth. Please tell me the truth from the beginning. I'm always that person who is always preaching the gospel. But deep down, I look at myself and ask, can I handle the truth? Can I handle the reality? So at the end of the day, you look at the circumstances and say, okay, do I be honest or do I be dishonest? You cheated. They ask you, did you cheat on me? When you say yes, you know they are going to call off the engagement. But when you say
they
no,
may not.
The assurances are there. Like, you know your man. So again, it goes back to the kind of situation. But again, be honest. Don't tell lies.
The truth is, a lot of people say they want honesty. They want to hear the truth. They want to be told this truth. But the thing is, they do not know or cannot handle it, and do not want the responsibility and consequence of having to know the truth. Now, there are two ways in which people could rate honesty. Number one, honesty is by being honest about, say, your past, the things that you do, or where you're going, your whereabouts, and all that. And then the other way is being honest and truthful in that moment. So, for instance, if your girl asked you, do I look fat? Are you going to be honest? Are you going to tell the truth? Or when your man asks you, are you with me because of the money? Are you going to be true and honest about it? So honesty just varies for a number of people. But the truth is, a lot of people cannot take the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. They say they want to hear it, but they don't want to hear it. They really cannot handle it. Another thing is that people say that they are being honest when they withhold information. Like, I did not tell you about this. It didn't mean that I lied about it. I did not lie about it. I just did not tell you, and there's a difference. Anyway, a survey that was conducted, and it showed that about 75% of the respondents in the survey told 0 to 2 lies per day, and lying comprised of 7% of total communication. And almost 90% of all the lies were little white lies. You know, just lying about your age, say lying about your height, what you do for a living, how much income you bring in, things like that. The same study also showed that men get away with lies twice as much as women do. And it also said that men think that they are better at lying than women.
It's a badge of honor. It's now a badge of honor.
But then I would like to ask, when it comes to honesty, to what degree should you share? Must you tell all your deepest, darkest, and private thoughts to someone? It could be maybe a platonic relationship with your friends, or maybe a romantic relationship, or relationship with family. To what degree is honesty acceptable? Because you just said that, you know, you can lie sometimes, and you gave a do or die situation, a little bit dramatic, but okay. So to what degree should people, okay, you say that people can lie, but to what degree should people tell the truth then?
I think it comes back to the issue of trust, how much you trust somebody. Like, you can have friends, you can have acquaintances, but how much truth you tell somebody that you do not trust really is detrimental to you as a person, because you do not trust this person, you do not know if they are going to keep it a secret. Let's say it's a secret. I mean, we've had of situations where you tell somebody and you tell them, please don't tell anybody, and before you know it, you're hearing it the other side, and also the other person is saying, don't tell the other one, don't tell the other one. So for me, it's about coming back to, it comes back to trust. How much do you trust the person that you are revealing all this information to? If you do not trust them 100%, well, you cannot trust somebody 100%, but if you do not trust them enough, then you can only give them limited information according to, you know, they talk about, you can have truths that you do not want, you do not want to lose, but there's things that you can talk about and you do not mind if they went out there, if they went all out there. Like, that is something that you can tell anybody. But coming back to things, especially, I'll talk about the issues of health. Let's say you are a woman and you are, you're struggling with conception, you know, and you know there's so much, people always talk about, you know, they have assumptions. They'll talk about, what did this person do? What do you think led to this one? What do you think led to this one? So such very sensitive and important matters or issues, you just have to look or to tell somebody that you trust enough. You cannot just be revealing all your information out there. Me, I believe in that. I mean, I could have a million friends, but like probably one or a half will know about anything.
It's quite absurd, the kind of life that the kind of legacy and the kind of life that we live. I mean, we live in a world where people cannot be honest anymore about their feelings, about their emotions, because either they are afraid to be judged or they are afraid that word might get out. However, that is actually the line and generation that we have found here. So the question is, when you ask someone that, if you ask someone who has honestly trusted and has been honest all their lives, and you know, they tell you the things the way they are and they have been betrayed, if you ask them that very same question and say, how much information then would you let out? They'll boldly tell you, say, no one deserves to know anything about me. But you see, even if you decide to say that, okay, this is my best friend, I trust them, this is my man, I'm going to tell him exactly what is going on in my life, there is no guarantee that the person will be honest back to you and actually keep the information that you have told them withheld. You do not have that guarantee, and unfortunately, we do not have the X-rays to see that. So then when you ask the question of how much information should you tell, I think we need to be very careful with the kind of information that we share with people that is not yourself. Be very careful. If you must, how about you seek professional help? How about you actually talk to a counselor? But again, that is an absolutely sad way to live, because in one way or the other, we need friends, you know, you need your acquaintances, you need people that you work with. We cannot constantly stay away from sharing the issues that we are going through because we are afraid that we are going to be judged. We are afraid that we are going to be made memes of. It is a terrible way to live. However, that is the way it is.
To be careful.
No, what about the statement living in my truth? A lot of people like to throw that statement around. Oh, I'm living in my truth. Don't you think it would be a lot easier if everybody just lived in their truth and was honest? Say, I have this problem. Say, I have these mental health issues. I am bipolar, I'm schizophrenic, I'm HIV positive, or whatever the case may be for you. I'm a single mom, I'm a divorcee, or I am barren. Live in your truth so that you attract what is for you, and whatever is not for you, it can just, you know, go to hell. You know, for lack of a better, you know, statement, can just, you know, go away. So why can't we just live in our truth? We're always talking about, let's be honest about who we are. Everybody likes to put up the front. Me, what really pisses me off is that people are just very huge hypocrites. Everybody's just telling lies and everybody's faking this positivity vibe. Yesterday we were talking about I'm too cool to care. All that is just nonsense, because when you are confident and comfortable in your past not just the positive things about you, but even the mistakes that you have made. Yes, I was that. I'm not that anymore. I did that. I don't do that now. I was like that. I'm not like that anymore. People are so afraid about having to show their scars and, you know, saying that, yes, that was me then, but now I am upgrading and moving. I was having a conversation last time on a wellness with Philmon Okonk, a life coach, and then he said that to show your wounds is weakness. to other people. And that right there, it stuck with me. At the moment it makes sense, but I kind of disagree. My weaknesses make me stronger because I have learned from those. And now that you know, you cannot use that against me. Yeah, I was. Now I'm not. So,
but you see, I think that takes a level of confidence, and you as a person, when you finally acknowledge those things. But if you're not now living in your truth, like you talked about, I think is a good thing. But it takes time to build that confidence, that in case you put it out there, because definitely there will be backlash, there will be mixed reactions. Other people will bash you, other people will maybe say you are strong, but are you ready, you as an individual, to take in all the backlash that comes with it? Because you have to be ready for the negative comments. I mean, you don't have to be ready for the positive. You only have to be ready for the negative. Now, if you have not taken time to build that strength, to build that confidence in yourself, trust me, all those comments that come through, let's say you put your life out there on social media, maybe you're giving your experience and you're not confident enough to take in, could be the negative comments. They will weigh down on you. You'll find yourself in a state of depression. So for me, I think you just have to first work on yourself. Be ready for what will come after you put your life out there. You just have to be ready.
But also, I do not think that you should be on pressure to sort of unveil your scars or to unveil the traumas that you've gone through. I know someone would then come out and say, but if you're in a relationship and you know you have HIV, or you know you have sickle cells, or let's say you are not able to have children, this is information that you should share with your spouse. But I think it should be a process. It should be a step-by-step thing. You should be allowed to conveniently and at your time remove the cloth and show your scars. But again, when it comes to things like relationships, before you get into one, the question is, are you ready to show your partner the other side? We get into these relationships, especially when it comes to the romantic relationships, and then you're like, oh, I've been through a lot, but I'm not obligated to, you know, show my partner the scars and what. But hey, these scars actually affect your partner and your relationship in the long run. However, when it doesn't come to that, I think people should be allowed to take their time, and people should also know that you're not obligated to show your scars. Things that you've been through, you're not obligated to talk about them. You can talk about them at will. It is a healing process. It takes time.
I agree with that, but what about stigma? You know why stigma comes about? It's because we are ashamed of the things that we have done. So when you hide a certain part of yourself that you're ashamed of, and people get to find out about it, they're going to use that against you. I like sometimes Cardi B was doing an interview and she's like, a lot of haters online will say that I was a stripper and say that I was a stripper. She's like, I know, and my mother knows I was a stripper, so even Jesus knows I was a stripper.
Cardi B took her time to build her confidence.
She did take her time, but my thing is that even that is how stigma comes about. You are hiding it. So now when you hide it, you're letting the next person know it's something to be ashamed about. Do you understand what I mean? I am all for take your time to reveal yourself, even to another person. Take your time to reveal yourself, because it's scary. Why we can't handle the truth and what holds us back from being honest is the fear of being rejected. That people are not going to want me because I am this, because I am that, or I did this, or I did that. Or it's something that takes, you know, like Shivan has said, something that takes a process. So I want to share that some ways on how you can be honest in your relationships. Number one is aim for mutual trust. Mutual trust from the person who you are sharing with. Ensure that they trust you. Ensure that they will be able to either keep it, what you have said between the two of you, confidential. Like, trust them to number one, believe you, to comfort you, and not use it against you. Aim for mutual trust. Number two, not everything has to be shared. Not everything has to be shared. Some things you should just keep to yourself, because it's like too much information for other people to process. Okay, so be careful about the things that you that you share. But then again, on the flip side, somebody, especially your partner, either your business partner or somebody you're in a romantic relationship with, or somebody who just absolutely adores you or loves you, may see that as may feel like it's betrayal when when you withhold information from them. Okay, but number two, it's a bit 50-50 is a bit tricky, so you have to gauge the situation. And then number three, think before you speak. the most important thing about communication is not what you say, it's how you say it. So if you say it in a way that is just, you know, jumbled, you're going to end up missing the mark, and the next person who is supposed to be receiving this communication may not get the proper may not receive the message as you intended it to be. So think before you speak, organize your thoughts, and then tell them. It could be a question about infidelity. Why did you cheat? You understand? Why did you cheat
You need
on
to
me?
organize your thoughts.
Organize them very carefully, my dear. Or it could be a question about finances, like how come you didn't tell me you earned this much? I thought you earned this much, so why didn't you? And even when you do speak with absolute honesty, but then again, how you present it is way more important than the storyline here. Number 4, don't expect full disclosure from your partner or the other person. Just because that you are disclosing yourself does not mean the other person is going to feel obligated to share with you as well. And then number 5, think about the effect of your honesty. If you have had 5 children with your husband and 4 out of them are not his, think of the effects.
Or if your girlfriend asks you, babe, am I fat? If you think of saying yes.
Think of the effects, exactly. Think of the effects of your honesty. All I'm saying is that
don't set yourself up.
Don't set yourself up. You know, think about the effects of it. Sometimes the effect of your honesty could actually, you know, cause somebody to lose their life or lose their job or whatever the case may be. But then again, I think it's important to call out certain things. I mean, looking at the effect of, say, your honesty. For instance, if you are being sexually harassed at office by somebody, and you know that when you report this person could potentially lose their job. I think you also, when you think about that, think about the consequence on you as a person. Are you able to live with the consequences of your honesty? That is also very important. And number 6, learn to listen. Learn to listen. When you speak, learn to listen to the other person's response, because it may be the heavy truth, the bitter truth. So for instance, let's again use this example. When your friend asks you, how do I look? And you're like, no, it's not for your body type. You don't look good. Then learn to listen to how they respond. You say, perhaps I don't appreciate how you said it. Maybe you should have said it, you know.
So what type of truth do you want?
This is the thing,
I've told you that cloth is not for your body type.
You provide a solution.
How sweeter can we make that statement?
You provide a solution.
The outfit you're putting on is not for your body type. What would I say?
You provide a solution. You say, what would you say? If I tell you this outfit, for me, this is how I'd handle the situation. I'll tell you, I don't think this outfit is good for your body type. How about we try something else?
The outfit
how
is
about
not
we
good
try
for your body
something
type.
else? That is, you know, you're providing a solution. It's not like you say, don't do this. This doesn't look good. It will, just like she said, how you communicate it, and you actually also approved of that.
That is why she also said, can you handle the
truth?
truth? We cannot handle the truth.
So for you, Shivani, you want to be lied to, period.
Me, I want the truth, but say it politely.
What
small,
is
small.
Still, it's the truth. Like it will hurt, whether politely.
Yeah, it will hurt, but I mean the way you pass it on across me is, like don't just come and tell me, baby, today, boom, boom, cha.
I think telling the truth is very, very
sense.
important, because sometimes those small, you can call it a small, tiny lie, but it goes on and it builds up and it becomes big lies. There's people who cannot live right now without telling lies.
That's true.
Because they're so accustomed to lies that it has become their way of life.
Pathological
and
liars.
very
But
sad.
there is something that I think that we missed out. Even while we're looking at honesty, you talked about the repercussions and the consequences. Yes. People's honesty and the comments that you throw up at people should not be a reason as to why people have low self-esteem. Should not be a reason. Until now, that's the thing.
It's a bit.
It's a tricky thing. Exactly. You just need to be careful with the way you're going to relay the information, because you could tell someone that dress is not good for your body type, and someone you're actually in one way or the other you're body shamed, but again, the person may not take it lightly. It might affect them for the rest of their life. So even while we are preaching honesty and being honest, we need to be very careful with how we craft the bitter truth.
And there are some people hiding under the guise of I'm honest, I tell the truth.
Me, I'm
Yet
real.
in the long run,
Yeah.
actually not in the long run, but they are just rude people. They are people who, they'll talk about I'm honest, but you're just a rude person. I think people need to also put a distinction between telling the truth, being honest, and just being a bully, or I don't know, a liar.
I want to ask you ladies this
Yes.
question. Would you prefer a man who comes to you and honestly states his intentions from
Yes.
the beginning?
Please, yes.
Yes.
As opposed to the man who, you know, goes about the bush to woo you and buy you things
Please
and
tell- hurt
stuff
me
like
with
that.
the truth.
I
By all
don't think.
means.
Yes, I have
By
said
all
that
means.
several times.
That is
I
what
would
you
prefer a
think.
man. Listen, we have been broken before. I personally have been down that road. I would prefer a man who came and told me that, you know what? I want to hit and run. I would appreciate that. The only issue is I may not be interested. I'll tell you, you know what? No, please. But then I would prefer the truth. I would prefer a man who came and told me the only reason as to why I want to date you is for popularity. Like, tell me, I think relationships would be so much better if we actually just told the truth. Even friendships. I mean, tell me, yes, I am your friend, but I just want to chill with you. I want to have drinks with you. You know, you're not that friend that I want to discuss important things. Like, can we just learn to, yes, the truth is hard, and trust me, it would break you, but it would save you a whole lot of trauma after that. Because the reason as to why we cannot move forward and have healthy relationships is because people already broke us.
Yeah.
We are fighting demons every day.
Yeah.
You see a man approach you and you want to run. You want to beat the human being, even when they're just honest.
Yeah.
I share the same sentiments with Shivan. Honestly, for me, when it comes to relationships, just tell me from the word go. Tell me, Owase, this is how I want a relationship to go. Either I have, long-term goals for our relationship, or it's short-term.
Or if
Whatever
it is a
it is.
contract.
Yes. If I can
I
take
hear
it,
if it is
so
a
be it.
contract.
If I cannot, let's leave it, because this is how you find people in situations where they've been how do they call that? They've been in relationships for about 3 years. You are counting on this man because he's been selling to you the dream of we are going to get married, have a beautiful life together. But they are probably looking at somebody on the side. So how about you tell me from the word go and tell me, you see, I don't envision a future, about our relationship. Let's just have fun. Like, let it be known. Tell me from the word go. I do not want to find out things along the way. I do not want to be broken along the way. I can take the truth in all its bitterness
you
and
cannot. And
hurtfulness.
I
I'm
disagree
ready
with
for
the
it.
both of you ladies. I disagree. You know why I
So
disagree?
you would prefer to be
Listen,
lied to?
no, let me finish. Let me state my case. Like, do you know why I disagree? Is because a lot of these men always tell women they don't want relationships, but all of you think that you can change his mind. He's like, I don't want a relationship, I don't want to get married, I don't want to have kids. But then you're like, but what are we? He just told you. I don't want
Listen,
to
take
take
the
what are you
trip,
still
walk
doing in
out.
that
That's the problem of the
relationship?
ladies.
Let me tell you, I think 80%, not even 80%, it could even be even more. A lot of women get stuck in relationships with men. Later you find out, you start to learn your value after you've had 1, 2, 3 kids.
Or
from
4
him.
years down the
Or
road
4
and
years
there's
down,
nothing
or
going on.
maybe
Yes.
8, because the man has already said, I don't want a relationship. And all these men do that. You see, I'm sure you may have been or know friends that have been in a situation where like, but he treats me like a girlfriend, but he's not putting a label onto it.
That
because
comes
he has
back to
already told you.
that is why.
He already
You
said.
see, Sarah, that is why, people really downplay how important it is for someone to ask you to be their girlfriend. People just want to go with the flow. At the end of the day, if we are starting this relationship, I want you to ask me to be your girlfriend.
That is true.
You have to propose.
We already
I'm not
should
saying with
want
the
to
ring, but
propose.
ask me. Ask me to be
Can
your
we-
girlfriend
yes,
so that
can
I
we
guys
know
are
that
making-
I'm your
yeah,
girlfriend.
I think that
You're
that is
just making
something.
noise.
That is something that many of us in today's relationships we ignore. Just because they are taking you out on a date, you've done Netflix and chill is sending you messages.
Yes.
Good morning and good night. It's official, baby. we
His
are
sisters
dating.
are your
My
friends.
The mother calls you to ask you where he is,
And you
think
assume.
you're dating. The men should ask. Women should stop assuming. The men need to ask, can you be my girlfriend? Can we please go out? Let me tell you.
It's very important.
There are times when you can be in your own movie.
Exactly.
You're the director,
You're
you're the producer, you're the script writer, and you're the one relaying the images.
That is the thing, because these men say it. They say, I don't want
we
to
do
be
not
in a
want to
relationship.
listen.
But you're not listening because you're romanticizing the bare minimum. He's taking out on dates. He's maybe, giving you data, airtime, whatever the case may be. He's, paying your rent or what. He's doing these things because he's a nice guy
Yes.
and because he can. But for you, in your mind, you're like, oh, we are not
I'll
just
just
together.
add
So
on to-
you're all telling lies when you say that you want
No.
straightforward men.
No,
They
Here's the
don't
thing.
want-
Here's
I
the
would
thing,
want
Sarah.
this. If a
And
man
then
told
TikTok-
me they weren't interested in me and they were not looking for, if that is what I'm not, if that is what I am looking for, if he tells me I want something short time, I'm not looking for marriage. If that
But
is
they
what
say
I
this
want,
thing.
That's the problem of the woman. If a man tells you from the
Yeah,
word
so
go,
what
I'm
are you
not
still doing
interested
in the
in a
relationship?
relationship, and you
What
think
are
you
you doing
can
in the
change
relationship?
his mind, trust me, these men always know what they
But
want.
men
First of
also.
all, there's a video where I watched. I don't know
like
if you
I'm
watched
so
it.
disturbed. I feel like every single time we be having conversation, I'm like, but men, I feel like we need a psychologist
You know
one
why
day.
I asked this about and why it joined it into our conversation of is honesty always the best policy is because there's a TikTok video that went very viral and it had over maybe 5 million views, and it was this woman who she was reacting to a voicemail that she received from a man that she had met, you know, a day before at the bus stop, right? So this man was very straightforward. He said that I am successful, I earn these figures, I own this company, I think you're very attractive, I am attracted to you, and I would like to, you know, date you, I would like to have the honor. Like, he was very straightforward. He's like, we don't even have to date, we can go straight into courting. He was very straightforward about what he wanted. He went on to show
Now
send
that
her
is
another voice note, and he was telling her that I sent you a voice note yesterday, you have not yet responded, I am going to give you until 3 p.m. tomorrow to respond. If not, I'm not interested, and please do not contact me. He was very straightforward. So why it had all the 5 million views is that everybody reacting to it was like, he's needy, he's creepy, he's this, he's that, he's that. Like, in my head, I'm like, but
Do you
women
want the truth
always
or
say
not?
this.
That they want
Like, you
straightforward
women,
people.
women always say, I want a straightforward man who is going to come up to me and
Like
say,
on the first date, tell
on
me
the
point
first
blank.
day, you have met me there walking on the street. It's like, you're pretty, I like you, this is my name, this is my village, these are my parents, and be my wife.
This is what I want
Is
us
this
to
what
do.
you want?
Here's the thing.
You guys are telling lies. And that is all we had on
But
this
I
segment.
do
It's
understand.
not always necessary to be honest, but let's move on.
Well, that is all we had on this segment of our views, but the conversation continues on our social media, and I'm asking, is honesty always the best policy? Let me know what you think, and you can connect with us across all social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you missed this episode of Sunrise at Sea, you can rewatch it on our YouTube channel. Well, bye. Keep watching Sunrise at Sea.